evening, and thank you for joining us for Career Applications. I'm your anchor, Skip Tumalu. Beginning with the forecast is Miss Cheyenne Quiet. Cheyenne?
Thank you, Skip. We are now forecasting that there is a new high-pressure system moving through in the form of a hot job posting. In fact, we think that there's going to be a flood of resumes inundating the system. However, we do want applicants to be aware that we anticipate a new storm in the form of an applicant tracking system, or ATS, moving into the path of the resumes. An ATS, or applicant tracking system, is a computerized program that many businesses and companies utilize in order to screen out resumes before they ever make it to the desk of a human resources person.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Is there anything that could be done to save resumes from being lost to the ATS?
Yes, Skip. In fact, there is a way to make sure that your resume makes it through the applicant tracking system. We recommend that you personalize your resume to each and every job posting. The way to do this is to repeat specific skill phrases from the job posting, or to utilize some of the same wording from the qualifications section of the job listing. In fact, we see that many of the generic resumes that are sent into the applicant tracking systems are often the ones that are thrown out first because they do not show how the applicant's skills and experience make them a good match for the actual job.
Excellent. Thanks again, Cheyenne. Reporter Farrell Lee Average is out in the field. Let's find out what he's up to. Farrell?
Thanks, Skip. So today we are going to visit with Carrie Oki. She is an expert when it comes to putting together resumes. She can give us tips and show us the best way to structure a resume for anybody and everybody that might need the assistance. Let's check it out. Carrie,
Hi, Farrell.
nice to meet you. Thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Come on in and have a seat.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Carrie. Appreciate your time.
Glad to help.
All right.
So here is a very basic format for how a resume should look.
It looks nice. Where'd you get the template from?
Actually, it'd be much better to never use a resume template. There's so many available online,
Yep.
but what happens when you use one of those templates is in the end, it becomes very hard to structure it so that it's unique to each person individually.
Interesting. I've been doing it wrong the whole time.
What I'd recommend you doing is starting with a plain Word document.
Gotcha.
And then you can be in charge of all the formatting, the font sizes, which font you actually choose.
Sure.
In fact, I'll just let you know that a couple of really good fonts to use are either Calibri or Times New Roman.
Oh, no wingdings, huh?
No, I don't recommend that. Another thing you're going to want to know is that after your name, when you put in your contact information, be sure to use a current phone number.
Sure.
And you're going to put your best email up
Yep.
there, the one you're checking all the time.
Okay.
And you want to be sure that it doesn't have a hyperlink in it.
Oh, Word does that by itself sometimes, so I'll have to make sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I think you made a mistake on. I don't see any periods for the sentences.
Actually, that's correct. There should be no periods in the format of a resume because none of these sentences use pronouns. They don't start with I did this, I did that.
Oh.
We just use the verb to show what is the skill that the person practiced while on the various jobs that are shown on this resume.
No periods. Don't use I. Okay.
One other thing to kind of notice is, can you see how if we took this piece of paper and we divided it into four, like put a big plus sign in the middle, there's information in all four quadrants. From an easy to view standpoint, something that's going to be pleasing to the eye, it's
Bam.
better to show that, yeah, exactly, it's a balanced resume.
Does look nice. Cool.
You'll also notice that everything fits on one page. So a one-page resume is really standard to the industry. That's what employers are looking for. If you have something on the second page, oftentimes they'll never even get a chance to look at it.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Gosh, this has just been a really great start. I'm actually pretty excited now to start my resume, so I appreciate the time. Let's throw it back to you, Skip.
Fantastic. Nice work, Farrell. Well, that's all the time we have. I'm your host, Skip Tumalu. Thank you for joining us for Career Applications.